So for number 58 for the homework, we want to graph the line y equals 3/4 x on graph paper. So let's do that first. So there is no b value. So typically we have the equation in y equals mx plus b form, but there is no b, so b is equal to 0. So I'm going to plot that point at the origin. Okay. Then next, we want to use the slope to figure out how much we're going to move. So we're going to rise 3 because it's positive, and we're going to run 4 since it's positive as well. So rise 3, run 4. So from that first point that I made, I'm going to rise 3, 1, 2, 3, run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so there's the next point. I like to do it a couple of times to help me draw a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, wait, 3 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should be good enough. Okay, so here's my straight line. So draw a slope triangle. So a slope triangle is when you choose 2 points and you show the rise and the run. That's a slope triangle. And so in this case, this slope triangle is going up 3 and to the right 4. All right, so that's part A. Just draw the slope triangle. Part B, rotate your slope triangle 90 degrees about the origin to get a new slope triangle. What is the new slope? Okay, so what we want to do is we want to rotate this purple triangle 90 degrees about the origin. All right, so it didn't tell us clockwise or counterclockwise, so I'm going to go ahead and go clockwise. So 90 degrees around the origin. So if I go clockwise, I am going to want to move it this way. So this point is already on the origin, so it's not going to change, but we need to change this point. And so if this point was rotated 90 degrees, if I make that connection with the origin, you can see that it's going to have to be on this line. And this line has a length of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have to go 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it keeps moving. Sorry, my screen keeps moving. So then this is going to be your next point. I'll make it blue. And then we want to do the point that's on the 3. So I'm going to get rid of this red color here. And I'm going to use it again over here. So now I'm going to connect the 3 to that red line. And once again, I'm going to want to move it this way. And so if I were to move this red line, and maybe I can even show you if I cut it with scissors. If I cut it with scissors and I rotate it 90 degrees, it's going to be rotated this way. And so now that new point, oh, I cut the whole thing. That's okay. That new point for B is going to be now on this side here. And so that would be a 90-degree angle. So then if I connect all of those points together, my new one, here we go, and then I'll put in the line for that other one. It was purple, right? That was the original. And so we've rotated that purple triangle to now become that blue triangle 90 degrees about the origin. What is the new slope? So now the line is going to be this one right here. What color do I use? I use this orange. And so now the line is here. So it's attached to this slope right here. So they're talking about the slope of this orange line. So then if we follow this slope triangle, this is rising 4 and running 3. So what is the new slope? The new slope is, remember, it's rise over run. And since we're going down 4, we need to say negative. So it's going to be I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to say negative rise 4. So rise over run, so negative 4 over 3. And that makes sense because negative slope and your orange line is going down. All right, part C. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to y equals 4/3 x. Are those supposed to be switched? Sorry about that. Let me just double check your ebook really quick. This was section 1.5.2.5. I feel like there's something wrong inside of this problem here. All right. No, there's nothing wrong with that 4/3 x. Okay. So now for part C, to find the equation of a line that's perpendicular to 4/3 x. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because neither of these lines are the same line that we're talking about right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this information here. And I'm going to graph that line I just highlighted. So the origin is still going to be a 0. It's going to be your y-intercept. And then this slope 4/3 is telling you to rise 4 and run 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw that line in. Oh, that's not a very good line. Let's try that again. All right, and we are trying to find the equation of a line that's perpendicular to that. Well, we did talk about if it's perpendicular, if a line is perpendicular, the slope of that perpendicular line has to be the opposite reciprocal. Of the slope that it's got. So it's got to be the opposite reciprocal of 4/3. So the slope of our new line is going to, so opposite means it's going to be the opposite sign. So now it's negative, and then it's going to be a flip-flop. So 3 over 4. So you got to flip it. So now it's negative 3 over 4 is going to be my new slope. And then now, it doesn't tell you that it has to intersect at a certain point. It just has to tell you that it needs to be perpendicular. So we can pick any point to write this equation of. It really just has to have the opposite reciprocal slope. So we can say that the line is y equals negative 3 over 4. And then you can really pick any number that you want. If we pick the origin, we could just say x and then have a 0 intersection. So then that line would be, so like this line would go through like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then it would go through this point if that were your line. Or if you decided you wanted the line to go through this point, then it would be a different line. It would have to, you would have to figure out what that equation is. So if we wanted to figure out that second blue line, you would use this point as an x and a y. So this point is located at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So we would use that to find our y-intercept. So what I would do is I would say y equals, we know the slope has got to be -4/3 because it's got to be the opposite reciprocal, and we don't know what the b value is. But I do know that my x values could be 3 and 4. So if I plug those in, y is 4, -3/4, x is 3, and then plus your b. We can solve for b here. So now I would get 4 equals -9/4, because then -3 and a +3 is a -9, plus b, and then I would add 9/4. To find b is equal to, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator for this one. 4 plus 9/4 would give us 6.25. And so then this would go through at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit above it. So it would actually reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little bit above it, and then it would go through that line, through that point. So that's another equation of that line. Now, it didn't tell you if it had to be the first blue line I drew or the second blue line that I drew. If you wanted to, I never wrote the equation for the second line, y equals -3/4 x plus 6.25. So this could be an answer, or this could be an answer. That would be the first blue line. Either one is fine. It doesn't matter. It wasn't specific as to where the line had to cross it on that red one. So as long as you have a y equals -3/4 x plus whatever you want, as long as it had -3/4 in front of the x, then your answer is correct and you're good to go.